Hello, best people of YouTube. I think that you click this video because you are a small business owner and you are interested to receive a PPP loan for your business. I personally applied for PPP loan in last May and received about 25,000 of PPP loan. But you know that this year there is a new draw, the second tranche of PPP loans available for small business owners. So the main goal of this video, not to entertain, not to make really funny video. The main goal of this video to find in one place answers on the 30 most frequently asked questions. So how did I find these questions? I checked at least 5 big PPP loan groups. I collected all these questions, analyzed them, and make a one video. So please be welcome to check time codes in the description and find specific answer on a specific question that you have. Okay, let's start. Okay, the first question: who qualifies for PPP loan? There are 2 draws of PPP loans. So let's talk about first draw of PPP loans. If the following statements apply to your business, you are eligible to apply for your first PPP loan in 2021. The statement is your business was operational before February 15, 2020, and your business is still open and operational. You have no more than 500 employees. If your business has multiple locations, you have no more than 500 employees per location. Okay, so what about the second draw of PPP loans? If the following statements apply to your business, you are eligible to apply for your second PPP loan in 2021. You have used up your first PPP loan. Your business was operational before February 15, 2020. Your business is still open and operational, and you have no more than 300 employees. If your business has multiple locations, you have no more than 300 employees per location. And what is important, you must show a 25 or greater reduction in the gross revenue. The second important question: how to show 25% or greater reduction in a revenue? And 25% or greater reduction can be shown in one or two ways. The first way: comparing your annual gross revenue as reported on your tax return in 2020 to 2019. The first. The second: comparing your gross revenue in any quarter in 2020 with your revenue in the same quarter of 2019. So, for example, if a business wants to use the second quarter, let's say as example, quarter 2 of 2019, where let's say they recorded 20,000 in gross revenue, they're eligible if they recorded a gross revenue of 15,000 or less in quarter 2 of 2020. It's pretty easy. Question number 3. PPP loan start date and deadline. Round 2 of SBA's Paycheck Protection Program opened on Monday, January 11th, 2021. For the first week of Paycheck Protection Program, the program is only available to small businesses applying at community financial institutions, CFIs. It will fully open to all eligible businesses on a January 19th. The deadline for loan application is March 31, 2021, though this round of the PPP could end sooner if all the money has been distributed to the businesses. To be honest, I applied in several locations on several websites, Wells Fargo, where are all my accounts, and Cabbage, but at this moment I didn't get any clear reply when money will be distributed. The first question: should I apply for first or for the second round now? First draw Paycheck Protection Program loans are for those borrowers who have not received a PPP loan before August 8, 2020. If it's your first time applying, you should use this option. The second draw of Paycheck Protection Programs are eligible for small businesses with 300 employees or less that previously received a first draw of PPP loan and will use or have used the full amount only for authorized users, and that can demonstrate at least 25% reduction in the gross receipts between compatible quarters like I described you in 2019 and 2020. The fifth question: how do I calculate my PPP loan? PPP loans are calculated using the average monthly cost of the salaries of you and your employees. If you are sole proprietor, your PPP loan is calculated based on your business's net profit. Your salary as an owner is defined by the way your business is taxed. So, for example, if you are taxed as a LLC, your salary is directly linked to your business profit. And in my case, it's a S-corp, so I can also pay as much as I want because I have only two owners. But it's really important when you're calculating this amount. And if you're taxed as a corporation, your salary is dependent on running payroll for yourself, meaning you must be remitting federal and state payroll taxes. Okay, if you have employees and pay yourself a salary too, you should be able to download a payroll report through your payroll provider. In my case, I just called to my payroll provider and asked them to provide me with a Form 941, and here we go. I have all information I need to apply. And what is more important, many payroll providers are even offering a PPP reports that tell you everything you need to know for your loan application. And if you are self-employed and have completed your 2019-2020 tax return, your Schedule C will show your net profit. Here is a step-by-step guide on calculating PPP loan. Step 1. Aggregate payroll cost, detailed I will provide below, from the last 12 months for employees whose principal place of residence is United States. Step number 2, subtract any compensation paid to employee in excess of annual salary of $100,000 or any amounts paid to independent contractors or sole proprietor in excess of $100,000 per year. Step number 3, calculate average monthly payroll cost. It's pretty easy, just divide the amount from the step 2 by 12. And the step number 4, multiply the average monthly payroll cost from step 3 by 2.5. And the last step, add the outstanding amount of economic injury disaster loan made between January 31st, 2020 and April 3rd, 2020, less the amount of any advance IDL COVID loans. I will provide calculator in description so you can make it really easy. If you have any questions, feel free to put comments and I will try to help you. The question number 6. What is the minimum and maximum amount of PPP loan? The minimum PPP loan amount is $1,000 and the maximum amount is determined based primarily on the borrower's payroll related cost, but cannot exceed $10 million. Question number 7. What banks are participating? Over 25,000 lenders are eligible to participate in the program according to the list published by SBA. The list of participating banks you will find in the description. I have this list for you, so please check description and click like button if I save you a little bit of time. Of course, there are several major banks like, for example, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They have billions of dollars distributed directly to them to provide you with the PPP loans. But it's better to apply with local and smaller banks, in my opinion, and not only my opinion. I think the process will be easier and faster in this way. Question number 8. What banks have already opened the second round? The full list could be found also in the description. I will provide you with the link that I made specifically for you. Question number 9. Where can I apply for PPP round number 1 if my bank is not offering it? It's not required to use your bank. That's very important. You can use any other bank that is appropriate to you. But from my experience, I know, let's say that if you're not a client of Chase, they send you message, they send you email asking to become their client. So sometimes it really matters, but I think you can easily open accounts in any bank where you feel will be the best way to receive a Paycheck Protection Program loan. Question number 10. How does a PPP loan affect unemployment? Only self-employed workers and anyone who gets paid using IRS Form 1091 are eligible for both PPP loans and unemployment benefits. The others cannot receive both. So if you apply for unemployment and a PPP program and receive a PPP loan, you must then withdraw from unemployment. That's tricky and important moment, so be very, very careful. You can accept a PPP grant, suspend your unemployment for 8 weeks, and then go back on. Or you can accept PPP money and use it as a grant to pay your business expenses, then pay it back and still collect unemployment. Question number 11. Can a S-corp get a Paycheck Protection Program loan? Of course, yes. I'm an S-corp and I received PPP program loan in May 2020. So if you own an S corporation and have not been paying yourself a salary through payroll, meaning you have not been remitting payroll taxes on your wages, you are not eligible to have a salary covered through PPP. But if you have a payroll and you are S corporation, you can do it. Question number 12. How can a C-corp get a PPP loan? How to calculate it? C corporation or owner employees are capped by the amount of their 2019 employees' cash compensation and employer retirement and health insurance contributions made on their behalf. So let me give you an example. You operate your business as a C corporation where you are the only employee. In 2019, the corporation paid you a salary, let's say $60,000, and contributed $12,000 to your retirement plan. Paid $20,000 for your family's medical insurance and paid, let's say, $350 to the state unemployment insurance. So your corporation has paid $92,350 in a qualifying payroll cost, and your loan and forgiveness are capped at $90,240. I provided the formula how you can calculate it in the questions above. Question number 13. Can you apply for the Paycheck Protection Program loan as a sole proprietor? If you are an individual with self-employment income, you can qualify for a PPP loan as a sole proprietor if you meet the following criteria. So, the first one, you filed or will file a Form 1040 Schedule C for 2020. Your principal place of residence is in the United States, so you must have had a net profit for the time in question. Note that if you are in a partnership, you are still eligible for Paycheck Protection Program loan, but you should not submit a separate application for yourself as a self-employed individual. Instead, you will file a single application for the company with each partner's income reported as a payroll expenses. This is meant to cut down on the volume of applications and eliminate confusion regarding which companies and partners have applied. Questions number 14. Has anyone applied for PPP loan being an independent contractor or not having an EIN number? You can use any lender. Use your social security number as your business tax ID. Also use your name as a business name, so that's possible. The question number 15. What is needed to get a Paycheck Protection Program loan for a non-profit organization? The documents needed are 2019 or 2012 IRS Form 940 or for quarterly Form 941S. I will show you several samples that you can find in the description to the video how these forms look like. Question number 16. What documents are needed for independent contractors, sole proprietors, self-employed without employees? The first, 2019 or 2012 IRS Form 1040, Schedule C if you're using, let's say, 2020 to calculate the loan amount, but you haven't filed your 2020 taxes yet, you may provide a draft. And the second, if you're including an economic injury and disaster loan that was taken from the 31st of January 2020 to 3rd of April 2020, provide a bank statement showing the deposit into your business account. The third document, invoice, bank statement, book of records, or 1099 miscellaneous form that covered the period up to 15th of March 2020. The question number 17. What documents are needed for sole proprietors, self-employed with employees? You need a payroll, health insurance, retirement benefits for employees, let's say 2019 or 2012 IRS Form 1040 Schedule C. You need a form, for example, 940s or quarterly Form 941S. You need a state quarterly wage unemployment insurance tax reporting forms for each quarter. You need, if you are including an economic injury disaster loan, ideal that was taken from the period up to 3rd of April 2020, you have to provide a bank statement showing the deposit into your business account. And the last document: invoice, bank statements, book of records, or 1099 miscellaneous that covered the period up to 15th of March 2012. Question number 18. What documents are needed for corporations, LLCs that files as a corporations? First, 2019-2012 IRS Form 1040 Schedule C. You also need a Form 940 or 4 quarterly forms 941S. You also need a Form 1120 or Form 1120S tax return to substantial health insurance or retirement benefits to employees. If you include an economic injury disaster loan EIDL that was taken from 31st of January till 3rd of April, you have to provide bank statements showing the deposit into your business account. And of course, you need invoice, bank statement, book of records, or 1099 miscellaneous that covered the period up to 15th of March 2020. And the last document, you need a quarterly state wage unemployment insurance tax reporting forms for each quarter. Questions 19. What documents are needed for partnerships, LLCs that files as a partnerships? You need pretty the same package of documents: 2019-2012 IRS Form 940 or 4 quarterly forms 941S, but you additionally need a 1065 tax return, including K1 form to substantiate health insurance or retirement benefits to employees and self-employment earnings for the partners. State quarterly wage unemployment insurance tax reporting forms for each quarter, invoice, bank statement for record, or 1099 miscellaneous forms that covers the period up to 15th of March 2020. Questions number 20, very important. Who is eligible for PPP loan forgiveness? If you spent at least 70% of the loan on eligible payroll cost for 8 weeks after your first loan disbursement, then your PPP loan will be forgiven. Payroll costs include employee wages capped at $100,000 per employee, paid sick or medical leave, group health insurance premiums. In addition to payroll cost, you can also use the funds for mortgage interest if they entered into before February 15, 2012, rent payments, utility payments, and interest on other debts and entered into before February 15th, 2020. As long as you spend 75% of the loan on eligible payroll costs, the other 25% of the loan spent on eligible business cost is also forgiven. This means that the portion of the loan that you spend on rent or utility payments are also had the potential for loan forgiveness. The question 21. How to apply for PPP loan forgiveness? At the end of the 8-week period, use your federal and state payroll tax filings, payroll history, bank statements to prepare a report of all your eligible payroll expenses, including employer contributions to health plan premiums and employment insurance. And what I did, in your application for loan forgiveness, you must document the following: a record of the number of full-time employees and pay rates your business maintains during the 8-week forgiveness period. We have the following documentation: payroll reports or bank statements, payroll tax filings with the IRS state income payroll and unemployment insurance filings, proof of payment, and so on. For instance, in case of business mortgage payments, copies of the amortization schedule or copies of your lender account statements also works very well. For rent payments, copies of your lease agreement, a certification that all the information you provide is accurate, that your loan was used to retain your employees or make rent, mortgage, or utility payments. So that's not very easy, but I think it's very clear what you should have to apply for PPP loan forgiveness and receive it. Question number 22. How long does it take to receive forgiveness? That's a really hard question, to be honest. I applied through Cabbage. I still didn't get the final reply whether I fully forgiven or not, but I'm sure that's only a matter of time. But coming back to the matter of this question, applications for loan forgiveness will be processed by your lender. You will need to fill out a PPP loan forgiveness application form and submit that to your lender. After you submit your application for forgiveness, your lender is required by law to provide you with a response within 60 days. That's what I found as an answer on this question. Question number 23. Will I have to pay taxes on my PPP loan? The CARES Act spells out that the forgiven loan amount will not be included in taxable income. That means you don't pay taxes on the money that you receive. Question number 24. What are the reasons that SBA can deny you a PPP loan? There are 5 areas that Senate subcommittee identified as the worst areas of fraud and waste. For example, businesses receiving multiple loans, you will be denied. The second reason, some kind of businesses that are not allowed to receive PPP loans. The second reason why your application can be denied, because there are about 600 loans to deliberate businesses not allowed to contract with in US. So they have some companies they don't want to work with, and if you are some of these companies, you are not eligible. The second reason, businesses with integrity issues with the government and have bad debt with them. So I hope you are not one of these companies. The fourth reason why you could be denied is when you have info missing in your application, or let's say wrong addresses, or maybe some other mistakes. And the last reason, missing key data like business addresses, borrower name, or some other discrepancy in your application form. So please be very careful. And question number 25. If your application was denied by SBA, can you reapply through another lender, or what can you do? All PPP loans go through the lender first, and then they send them off to SBA for review. So I'm not sure that you can apply and be denied in one case and reapply in another. I didn't find any clear answer on this question. I checked many websites, and it seems like they have integrated database where they keep all this information. So anyway, the final decision and money disbursement will be made by SBA. So it doesn't seem like you can reapply in many other places. Question number 26. Do you need a business account to receive a PPP loan? The CARES Act that set up the PPP loan program says you must be in business before February 15th, 2020. It doesn't say that providers must have a separate business account before that date. To apply, you must have an online account, so it looks like you can open one if you don't have one. Question number 27. Can you apply with the multiple lenders for PPP? You are only allowed to have one PPP loan. You may apply with multiple lenders, but once you are approved for loan, you must withdraw your other applications. Don't give up if your loan isn't funded. This may not be the last round of funding, so be ready to apply again and again. That's actually what happened with me in a last May 2020. The question number 28. Are small business concerns required to have 500 or fewer employees to be eligible borrowers in the PPP? No, small business concerns can be eligible borrowers even if they have more than 500 employees, as long as they satisfy the existing statutory or regulatory definition of a small business concern. Under Section 3 of the Small Business Act, you can find a business can qualify if it meets the SBA employee-based or revenue-based criteria. This document does not carry the force and effect of law independent of the statute and regulations on which it's based, size standard corresponding to its primary industry. So you can go to sba.gov/site for the industry size standards. Question number 29. I'm receiving my first PPP this round. Can I apply this round again? If your business received initial PPP loan, you may qualify for a second round of funding provided you meet the following requirements: have no more than 300 employees, have used or will use the full amount of your first PPP loan. You can show a drop of at least 25%. I mentioned about this in annual gross receipts, or in some quarters of 2019 comparing to quarter of 2012. And of course, it's important that you have not permanently closed. Businesses that have permanently closed or suspended operations can receive a second draw loan. The question number 30. Do you need to have a good credit score to apply for PPP loan? Your credit score is not tied to your eligibility for Paycheck Protection Program loan, but it's for EIDL. Because much of the PPP money is expected to be forgiven, there are no collateral or guarantee requirements for the money. Thank you for watching my video. Excuse me that it was very entertaining because it's pretty boring topics. Smash the like button if I save you at least several minutes of your time, and I wish you good luck with your PPP loans. Have a good day and peace out.